Namaskar. Welcome to Sky Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the administration of the Chola. How was the administration done by the Chola? By the end of the lecture, you will be able to understand how they have incorporated the local people into administration. The administration of the empire, that is the Chola Empire. How was the administration done? How was the administration organized? Settlements of people known as Ur became prosperous with the spread of irrigation and agriculture. Now, the people started to come and settle in Chola Empire region, and it became prosperous because there is huge availability of water. A well planned and supply of water is available in almost all the regions of Tamil Nadu and Chola Empire region. So that made people to come and settle down, especially the peasants, which we have seen in the previous video, how the arrangements were made for the supply of water. So group of such villages formed larger units called nadus. Today how we have the mandals, where we have the group of villages. During the Chola administration time, the group of such villages is called as Nadu. You can make a note of this one. Nadu. N-A-D. Nadu. These Nadus also had a village council. The village council and the Nadu together performed several administrative functions like justice, delivery, collection of taxes. If there are any disputes, any misunderstandings, that can be brought to the notice of village council, and they will dispense the justice there. They will take care of the dispute and try to resolve it. And also, they played an important role in collection of taxes during the Chola administration period. Apart from this, we also have Brahmins often received land grants. When we studied about the Prashasti, the land grants were recorded on copper plates. That all we studied. So that land grants are known as Brahmadeya. What are they known as? Brahmadeya. The Brahmins receiving the land grants is known as Brahmadeya, and as a result, a large number of Brahmins who received the lands from the king as a gift settled in the regions of Kaveri or the Kaveri Valley, which is also in the other parts of South India. So the Brahmins who received the land grants known as Brahmadeya were settled in the Kaveri Valley region. The Chola kings gave some rich landowners certain titles known as Muvendavelan, which means a Velan or a peasant serving three kings, Muvendavelan, and Arayar, chief, which means chief, which is like a mark of respect, and also entrusted them with the duty as an important one, office of the state at the center. So sometimes they used to recognize rich landlords and gave them the titles like Muvendavelan or Arayar, which means you are the in charge or you are serving as a peasant or a chief, and they also give certain office as a position for them in the administration. The rich peasants of the Valala caste exercised a considerable control, which means they are a very influential during that particular point of time during the Chola these Valala caste people had control over the affairs of Nadu. What is Nadu? We studied in the previous points. Nadu means a group of villages. The group of villages are called as Nadus. So these Nadus were having affairs which were controlled by the rich peasants of which caste? Valala caste, and under the supervision of central Chola government. So The administration has been organized basically at three different societies were living there. One, settlement of the peasants known as Ur, group of villages known as Nadu, then the Brahmins who settled in the valley of Kaveri as they received the land grants known as Brahmadeya. So these three together form the Chola Empire's administration parts. So Nadu is village council, play an important role like collection of taxes and dispensing of justice if they have any dispute. At the same time, the kings also used to recognize the rich land owners and give them certain titles such as Muvandavelan, Arayar, and also the Velala caste people used to exercise certain amount of control over the affairs of Nadu under the supervision of central Chola government. Apart from this, we also have each Brahmadeya will have an assembly or a sabha which played a prominent role in the Brahmana landholders. So we are talking about only the Brahmins settled region known as Brahmadeya. There they had an assembly or a sabha which is very prominent and played a crucial role. Let us see how it was. These assemblies worked very effectively. Okay, they are very effective in nature. Their decisions were recorded in detail in inscriptions, often on the stone walls of temples. So how we maintain the minutes of the meeting when we conduct any meeting? Similarly, they are recording every meeting details and they are putting them in the inscriptions. There are also associations of traders who used to do trade that time. There were associations of traders known as Nagarams and also occasionally performed administrative functions in towns, maybe at some festival time or some important events time. They also used to take care of administrative functions. Yeah, we got one inscription from Uttar Merur in Chengalpattu district, Tamil Nadu, provides the details of in which way the Sabha was organized in the Chola administration, which looked after the Brahmadeya affairs, had different committees to look after different works. One committee looks after the irrigation arrangements and its works, while the other looks after garden working. And they also had another committee to take care of temples. Like this, the responsibilities are shared among the members of the Sabha. Now, how are the members of the Sabha elected? The names of all those eligible to the members of these committees were written in small tickets of palm leaves. So they used to write all the names of the eligible people on the small palm leaves. Afterwards, they used to put them into an earthenware pot or a mud pot and call a young boy who doesn't know anything about the committees because they are very young. So he cannot do any discrimination and he doesn't know whose names are written also. So he is asked to come and take up the chits one by one. So for each committee, they used to make a list of the names like that. So there is no partiality, no discrimination at any point. Now, why is Chola's administration catching headlines always when it comes to administration, even today when it has been done around some 1000 years ago? Because you can see how transparent and how clear, how logically correct, no discrimination, no special privileges while the committees are decided. So the members of the committees are decided by a small boy who doesn't know anything about them. That is a process they have adopted. And you can see there are village committees, village councils, there are nadus, there are assemblies, there are sabhas, where everywhere people are involved in the administration. Somewhere in 11th century or before that itself, they have involved the people in the Chola administration. That's why it plays an important role and catches headlines even today. Administration means involving all the people at different levels and make them work and be transparent in choosing their leaders. These are the guidelines which are followed by the Cholas, which becomes even difficult even today to practice. After the growth of technology, after the awareness about the concept of democracy increased, even today, people are not able to get involved actively and have any biased results, or not have any biased results. It's becoming difficult. Today, money plays an influential role, muscle power. But during those days, they were able to manage all these things and come out with transparent administration techniques. This is all we are assuming that, basing on the inscriptions which we got, and we analyzed and we studied. The reality might be a little bit different, because we all know when they are written on exaggeration. But still, there is a possibility to have at least 50% fair chances for the administration to happen in a fair way. That's all we have from Chola's administration, and also new kings and kingdoms. This is the last video, and in this we come to the end of the new kings and kingdoms video sessions all. So thank you very much for watching.